All right, all right, all right. Welcome to another edition of Vegas Bad Boys of Podcasting. I'm your host, DJ Impact, and I got the Bad Boys here with me. Again, I wanted to wish everyone a happy new year. Welcome to year 2021. And we're expecting to have a better year all the way around this year than we had in 2020. We are starting our third year of podcasting, and this is an exciting time for us. We want to thank everyone who has been with us since day one, or if you just started with us tonight, we appreciate you and rocking with us tonight. This is our 3-count episode where we choose 3 stories that we pick online and we just discuss it and see what's everyone's thoughts on that. So let's get to our first count from awfulannouncing.com. It is titled Pro Wrestling Torch Releases Longtime Columnist Bruce Mitchell After Insensitive Post About the Death of John Brody Lee. It says that
I didn't know that Michael Cole had a website.
Michael Cole?
Yeah, Awful Announcing.
Oh.
Don't they have like a meme or some shit where like Triple H was sitting down and it says something to Michael Cole? It's like, hey, apparently, I don't know how to really do my job, but then I'm sitting up here with you. I saw like some kind of a short clip anyways.
Yeah, that probably.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if Michael Cole would like that, but awfulannouncing.com is the site.
Barbecue sauce. Sooner. Who was sooner?
or better yet,
go to a short break. Being paid. Picture in picture.
How the hell does this picture in picture thing work? I don't understand.
Picture in picture.
Picture in picture. Picture.
DJ, I'm sorry for interrupting you.
Please it's continue. All right, man. See, now we done started something. Okay, again. So Pro Wrestling Torch releases longtime columnist Bruce Mitchell after insensitive post about the death of John Brody Lee Huber. Okay, and then it goes that after posting a column trying to connect COVID-19 to the death of John Brody Lee Huber, when it was revealed that COVID was not the cause of death, the Pro Wrestling Torch revealed that they released a longtime pro wrestling writer, Bruce Mitchell, after 30 years with the company. It said in a statement that the Torch founder, Wade Keller, revealed that Mitchell's column, quote, did not go through the normal vetting and editing process, end quote. And after discussing the matter, the column was deleted. And then Keller later announced that Mitchell was fired and apologized to Huber's family. There's a lot of few other things I'll kind of mention within the article. It does say that the Mitchell column tried to suggest a potential cover-up and insinuated that COVID-19 had a role to play, citing AEW recent past attempting to hide injuries, example of Matt Hardy's falling from a scissors lift. And it also says now the writer doesn't want to defend anything Mitchell wrote, but is saying giving Pro Wrestling Pass, it's not the worst idea in general to ask questions to get the truth when something tragic happens within the industry. When a beloved public figure suddenly dies at such a young age in the industry, questions are going to be asked about what happened. And of course, Mitchell's posted his piece less than 24 hours after Huber's death, when the only thing anyone publicly knew was that it was a, quote, non-COVID related lung issue, end quote, like Amanda said. So pretty much to conclude, the writer wrote the pro wrestling and the pro wrestling media haven't had the best relationship over years. An industry that's shrouded in secrecy, many of the pro wrestling don't have a positive view of pro wrestling media because it's likely they're trying to reveal secrets that people are trying to remain hidden. So guys, I'm just gonna ask you straight up, which means Simon Street, I'm gonna come right over to you. Do you agree that Bruce Mitchell here should have been fired for his piece?
Well, what should have happened to him is his boss should have had a conversation with him and told him, look, man, right now, we all have to make sure that we think about ethics in what we say and how we present the news of any form or shape. This is a huge topic. There are a lot of people right now who are upset anytime someone passes away and they're hit with the COVID-19 stigma, first and foremost. Second of all, that's private information that he didn't acquire, substantiate, or anything like that. It immediately should have been dealt this way, and kudos to them for letting him go. I do believe this probably wasn't the first infraction. He was probably somebody that was on, the radar, let's put it that way. And this probably was the final straw that broke the camel's back. With that, I will say he got what he got, and he's lucky he didn't get hit with a twisted tea.
Okay. Let me ask you, Sin City. I mean, journalists all the time. I mean, listen, politically, you'll have one side that says one, you have the other side that says something different. There is a fact that somewhere in there, but neither one of those journalists are ever let go, even if the wrong information is being given out. I don't know how you would tie that into what happened here, but would you agree as a journalist that he should be fired for what he written in this piece?
So here's the thing is ultimately we need to consider a couple of things. One, it was mentioned in this particular article that Bruce Mitchell's article itself did not go through the proper editing and posting procedures as per the vetting process that normally everything goes through on the PW Torch website. So that tells me that Bruce Mitchell posted this article raw and without going through the proper channels and without allowing anyone that would normally edit his pieces to edit those. So he just kind of slid it under the door. And I think that, I'm not going to say that he should have been fired for this because realistically, at the end of the day, that is something that was decided by Wade Keller. And obviously Wade has, run the PW Torch newsletter for 30 plus years. Bruce has been involved for 30 of those years. So I highly doubt that it's something that Wade just acted in a snap judgment and, just said, oh, well, this was the first time that you did this, you're going to be let go. I'm sure that there were other things that he had done in the past, maybe that aren't public knowledge. So realistically speaking, at the end of the day, this is a matter between an employer and an employee. And I don't necessarily think that we that don't have the facts should be speculating on anything beyond that. The thing that I have an issue with is his article was published less than 24 hours after the announcement of John's death. So obviously the first 24 hours after somebody dies, especially, or, first 24 hours after somebody gets seriously injured, not even necessarily in the event of death. I think that that's a very, very sensitive time that, you're dealing with family members, you're dealing with close friends, you're dealing with acquaintances that maybe barely even knew the guy and how they're reacting. So it's one of those things that, personally, if I would have had any sort of connection to John before he died, I would have been upset with the out and out I'll say it, random speculation that it was due to COVID-19 specifically. The thing is, John's wife, now widow, posted that that he died due to non-COVID-19 related causes. Within the first 24 hours, that's all that we really should go by. And if he wouldn't have made any sort of assumptions or, kind of fed a narrative that something was more, that there was more underlying than what was announced, that shouldn't have been done, point blank. As far as should he have any sort of things happen, ultimately, like I said, that's between Wade and Bruce. But I've said it numerous times. In this country, something that makes us great is that we have the freedom of speech.
Right.
However, we do not have the freedom of repercussions of that speech.
Sure.
So,
Mike,
that's
okay,
key.
I'm sorry. Got you. Mike, because I remember last week when you were when it was your time to give when we were talking about this whole thing, and we did mention the fact there was a non-COVID related lung issue. I remember you saying, "Hey, you know what? Look, we don't exactly know if COVID could have played a part into this. It could. We don't know yet, and that is true. Should we just fire you just for the fact that you mentioned something like that as it being a possibility? In other words, do you also agree that Bruce Mitchell should just have been fired for what he wrote less than 24 hours of John Huber's death?
So it's a very mixed bag because of a few things. One, we're in a point right now with this pandemic that it's polarized two sides, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what's going to happen is you're going to have your non-believers and your believers. Okay. So when someone then comes out and quickly says specifically that it was lung problems, and it was, lung problems not due to COVID.
Mm-hmm.
What his instinct then was, I'm assuming, is to look at why that was such a quick statement. Meaning, why would you say that it was non-COVID related specifically? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going through the process of what you would potentially do as a journalist. Now, I think that the article that you had kind of, it gives a bad representation, because what the article is trying to do is paint it as the fact that the wrestling industry, especially AEW, with cases of covering up, essentially, right? That they didn't want to, make sure that the, Matt Hardy's thing wasn't known, or blah, blah, blah. Okay. So I'll take that out. I think that the wrestling business is a cover up. Listen, if Brody Lee passed away from COVID, we would know, because that would be something that is a big deal. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're doing then is basically Bruce Mitchell then decided to start looking at this in that light. Was AEW trying to cover this up? Why was it done so fast? Blah, blah, blah. My biggest problem with this is I have a hard time even saying if it was justified or not, from the fact that I don't know what the article said. It was pulled like very quickly. So I haven't seen any screen grabs or anything like that. I honestly don't know what he actually said. So the thing with that being is that, anytime that you have someone pass away, you want to take then the benefit of the doubt of what the family is saying. All right.
Right.
Because really, in the end, it wasn't the company that came out and said it was non-COVID related. That myself right there stops me as a journalist, right? Because if the wife said it, then whose fucking business is it for me to then try to pry into the wife's line of thinking or her life? If the company came out and said it, then I have to ask, Why is the company specifically saying that it was
Mhm.
not COVID-related when they could have said he died because of this lung issue that he had from whatever it was?
Yeah.
So he made a fucking bad move. The second part of it that I find very interesting is this: the claim that it was just not vetted at all. I got a feeling that they probably together don't have an actual really huge vetting process, because these are two guys who've known each other for 30 years.
Right.
You're
Yeah.
not going to, he's not going to be going, hey, Bruce, are you sure you did this, this, and that? No, he
True.
probably,
Yeah.
He might have seen it. It might have got posted. And then all of a sudden, when you start to see backlash, he has to make a decision. And that is for the betterment of the company and the look that you're giving off, because he went after the guy's widow. You have to let him go. Wade Keller had to save his ass because he would have lost sponsorships and money coming in to support what he's built up for 30 years. And you can't let one person do that to you. That's as simple as that. So
Gotcha.
as I as I can go, yeah, the journalist, but man, you don't fucking go into a personal life. If it was the company, I would have said, you know what, justified. But no, that doesn't need to be said. And that is where that divide makes it so much harder, because it's so much easier now to point fingers and go, oh, look, well, obviously, because they said it's not COVID related, there's got to be something going on where they're covering it up.
Right.
Everyone distrusts everyone nowadays.
Well, he definitely, I mean, as you said earlier, we it got pulled, what he wrote, but it sounded as though he really was reaching with this article of really trying to make it seem like it's just like, dude, for real.
That's what I'm saying. But you know what the problem is that you didn't see it firsthand either.
No.
And that's what makes me mad. It makes me furious when other sites like this can write some kind of piece like this and not reference exactly what the fuck was said.
Right. Yeah.
If you're
they
trying
just summarized it. Yeah, they just kind of mold over and summarize it as vague as possible.
Yeah, it really should be called their website should be called Cliff Notes.
Online.
Yeah. So no, that's the whole thing. The thing is that we're going, well, it sounds like, because they're painting the picture that we're assuming on now.
Sure, you're right. Yeah.
So it's another it's a quote unquote journalist site who is talking about a journalist site, and they're essentially kind of doing the same thing he did, which they're just taking something and just putting it out there, and there's not substantiated shit where I as a reader can go, okay, this is exactly what happened. I understand the situation. I don't. I just spent 5-10 minutes here rambling and rumbling through my brain on something that I have not even seen proof of what was actually said.
Right.
So let me ask you this question then. Who is going to get the Twisted Tea of the Month award? Because I need to have Debo come drop this shit off to that person. Is it going to the article of this article about the guy who wrote the article that we couldn't really see the article that he wrote? I just need to know, because somebody about to get Twisted Tea.
Well, according to our chat, which Shant is on, he says Mitch deserves to be hit with a Twisted Tea.
There you go.
So there you go.
Twisted Tea of the Month award for 2021 goes to this motherfucker.
I think it does come down to this. I'm not, like I said, he deserved to be fired, because that is just, it was a stupid move. But I at the same time would have liked to have seen what the article actually said, so I could even comprehend why he even tried it. That's what's frustrating to me.
And see, that's the difference probably between, like, I guess a journalist site like this and, let's say, a news site. Because if you were to go on to a New York Times or something like that, they actually would have had screenshots, if not the actual document itself, put online so you can read it, So you make a good point there. That should have been something that someone grabbed or something. Yeah. So, yeah. Well, hey, Awful Announcing is not one of the websites we normally get information from. So,
well, they also call themselves Awful Reporting.
Let's go over to count number 2. We have heard of essentiallysports.com, and they titled, every now and then I find something from them. They titled this.
Was that created in 2020? Essentially 2020 established?
It could have been. Why did Ronda Rousey leave WWE in pro wrestling? Now, of course, this might be one of those pieces I love for you guys to say, look, man, they just need to get some clicks and, pretty much get a little payday. And I'm sure that is the case. But let's just entertain what he's saying. He mentioned 3 reasons possibly given as to why. And neither one of these reasons has to do with the fact that she just maybe wanted to start a family or be with hubby or whatever the case may be. It could be one of these 3. So why don't I start this with you, Simon Street? Says Ronda Rousey was driven away by, quote, ungrateful fans, end quote. And, I guess they had a quote of her actually saying that, or here it is. So it's just like, what am I doing it for if I'm not able to spend time and energy on my family, but instead spending my time and my energy with a bunch of fucking ungrateful fans that don't even appreciate me? All right, Simon Street, let's go along with it. Is it because of ungrateful fans, the reason why that Ronda Rousey has just said, look, maybe I'm going to step away from WWE or pro wrestling at the moment? Or would you disagree? It would have something to do with just wanting to be with fam or starting a fam.
I don't think it has anything to do with ungrateful fans, because that's just that's already understood. Wrestling fans can be very ungrateful, and we love to show it every once in a while. Actually, more than once in a while. So let's put that out there.
Okay.
I will tell you, she don't have to. It's fucking Ronda Rousey. You see what I'm saying? And I'll be completely honest with you. If anything, I've noticed, especially with kind of relatable with WWE having their live gaming streaming sessions, the fact that they got Ronda Rousey on one of those episodes and she still has her contract and affiliate status with Facebook Gaming just shows, look, we're going to work whatever we got to work with you, baby girl. We love you. We don't want you to go nowhere. So boo-boo, you come back to work whenever you're ready to come back to work. And so Ronda knows that. And Ronda's like, look, I'm going to spend time with hubby, take care of my goats, and, tell everybody, how to be self-sufficient with solar panels and water heater. Because I watch her show. I watch her show.
No. Wait, if you just listen to me, what is your fascination with goats?
She actually does have goats. I'm being real with you. And hold on. Fun fact that you don't know about my personal life. My first job.
Oh, I don't want to know. I don't want to know, dude.
Hold on. Let me finish.
Hello.
I was an actual goat herder. No joke. And none of that weird sick shit. Don't make it weird, Michaels. Don't make it freaking weird.
That's the first time I heard that.
I was like 15 years old, and I was brought with my dad. I'm serious, in Arkansas, and I was like a fucking goat herder, dude. They need an excuse to give a 15-year-old a fucking job, paying some shit, herding some fucking goats to get tagged and shit like that. The shit was cool as fuck. Besides the point, I digress.
I feel like as if that was the plot for a 90s B-rated comedy.
Weekend at Goaties. Like, pull around a goat who is dead and make him look like he was alive.
that sounds like some Tom Green shit. No. But I'm just saying, like, it just shows. I'll wrap it up saying this: Ronda Rousey does not need to come back anytime unless she's ready. She's always going to be welcome to WWE. There's always a spot. They're going to make a fucking spot for her. I hope she doesn't come now. No offense, Rhonda, because right now I like what they're doing with the women's division, but we know they're going to part the Red Sea, and the motherfuckers we wish would be on the other sides ain't going to be on the other sides. So that's it.
All right. Well, let me ask you, Sin City. I mean, the question is, why did Ronda Rousey leave WWE or professional wrestling? The other option he gave is that Rousey did not appreciate the constant traveling and hectic schedule. And I guess she did an interview and she did name traveling as the worst part of being a professional wrestler. Would you think that could be one of the reasons why she's just kind of stepped away from it? Or you would say, hey, she just want to be with fam? Where would you go?
I mean, ultimately, I think that, you know, what you run into is a lot of people grow up watching this business and watching product. And a lot of people are, you know, that watch it at a young age have the idea of, hey, I want to do this someday.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't taken a single bump in a ring. It's not anything for me. Like I never had that fascination to do it. But I have all the respect in the world for the people that put in the time, that bust their asses every single day, and that travel those miles on the road between shows. Most of the time, especially when you're starting out, for little more than a hot dog and a handshake. And it's one of those things where it's really easy for us to sit on the outside looking in and to come up with any number of reasons as to why she's not with WWE on their main roster programming right now. Personally, I take it at face value. If she says specifically that she's leaving to start a family, cool. I'm going to take her at face value of her saying that. If she cuts promos with like Steve-O on his podcast saying that, oh, you know, fuck the fans, that kind of stuff, then, you know, I don't particularly think that that is a legitimate thing. But I don't know. I ultimately, I think that it is a work with her saying that. But it's one of those things where I don't know for sure. And it's not going to affect how I live my life on a day-to-day basis. So if we ever see Ronda Rousey back in a WWE ring, great. If we never see Ronda Rousey back in a WWE ring, great. Whatever's the best for her is what should happen, period.
Matt Michaels, we haven't seen Ronda Rousey, and it's saying, hey, why did she leave WWE or professional wrestling? One of the last things he mentioned is that, you know, she still suffers the pain from a back injury. And it is quote that I was saying, my bottom vertebrae is my back is actually broken in half. So that has something to do with it. But traveling on a broken back is the absolute worst. I love being home on my extra firm Tempur-Pedic mattress every night. All right. So would you agree with that being the reason that she still suffers pain from the back injury, or she just wants to be with fam? What would you say the reason why she stepped away?
Oh, well, I think the reason that she stepped away was simply for Luke Diaz to write this article. By the way, Luke is a WWE and AEW author at Essentially Sports. He's his profound knowledge of WWE's history and its wrestlers adds depth to his work.
Yes.
Luke's favorite wrestlers are Drew McIntyre, Stone Cold, Mick Foley, and Shotzi Blackheart.
There you go.
And by the way, Luke is currently pursuing his undergraduate degree in Bachelor of Mass Media at St. Xavier's College, Mumbai, and is experienced in travel writing and photography. Yeah.
Where you strip down these authors, boy. I mean, like, you strip them just butt fucking ass naked.
Well, that's what it says.
No, it's just the way he does it, man.
And clearly writing pay per word articles.
Yeah. Exactly. So what I found fascinating is you said the third thing, and he links the third thing to the second thing. He basically, her second thing was, I hate traveling because I can't lay down and have my back, flat. And her third thing is, my back is still injured and it hurts, stinging bumps. Yeah. So here's the thing. Ronda Rousey not hurting for cash. One of the biggest names in all of MMA and professional wrestling. So you do have to remember that guys like The Big Show started this trend. Cena has it himself. That's your own fucking bus. So I really think that if her back was really killing her to that extent, and that she really was passionate about doing, wrestling to the point where, it's her back hurts so bad, she would get a bus. So I don't think that's a huge factor. I think that it's interesting too that he brings up this stuff now about the road, when essentially, if she wanted to come back right now, she wouldn't have to deal with the road or her first part, the fans.
Exactly.
There's no fans and no travel.
Yep.
So Royal Rumble, anyone?
Calm down there, King.
Hey, never know. And the funny thing about the first part is that whole thing about the fans is work. It's totally work, because she left as a fucking heel. Also, I've worked with Steve-O, and Steve-O is really good at just going along with whatever someone's saying. So, and his thing is, listen, he has his own show. He wants to get ratings. So, and I like Steve. He's a really fucking awesome dude. So when you have these kind of conversations with, especially people like Rhonda, who likes to fucking, you want to talk about titty twisters. She likes to take the fans' nipples and just fucking wring them. Because if you go back and you look at some of her stuff online, how many times in the last year and a half have people gone ape shit where they think she's coming back or she's not coming back, or she put this very subliminal thing in this video that only this one person out there knows because it was directly, for her now, so yeah, I mean, fuck this dude.
Fuck him.
Oh man.
Hey man, he gets his degree and stuff. I'm all for education, so great.
Yes.
But there is absolutely no substance at all. There's no speculation other than two to three fucking quotes, and that's it. That's it. That's his whole take. So
yeah.
No.
Okay. All right.
I got to be honest with you. I don't know about any of y'all, man, but if my job ever tell me, you know what, Rome, you don't even really need to come to work. You just come in just once. You pick a day, once a month. Come in. In fact, don't even work 8, bro. Just work an hour. That's it. I guarantee you, man, I'm gonna be with that company till I'm dead, if the money's right. Because that's my fucking schedule. Shit, I come in as the happiest motherfucker for them 1 hours for work a month.
So basically what you're saying is you're about to become a writer at essentialesports.com? Possibly. Just work 1 hour a month, because apparently that's what they do with their writers.
Oh boy.
I'd be scared to be a writer with your ass, man. You fucking address everything. Like, motherfucker, you didn't even get you got an A in writing for Mrs. Peterson's 3rd grade class. Like,
well, let's move over to our third count from thesportster.com, and it is titled "Every Major World Champion in 2020 Ranked from Worst to Best." It says, so who was at the top of the sport of such an odd year? The world champions of the major, mainly New Japan, AEW, and WWE, make for a good way to look at just who considered important enough to be at the helm of the industry. Some were fantastic, and some really missed the mark. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go down and just name all the 14, and then you guys can let me know, who you believe missed the mark, or do you even agree that this list, or how they ranked it from worst to best, was actually correct? Maybe you say this writer whose name looked like it's Danny, and I'm not going to even try to pronounce that last name,
do it.
Was just on point. Okay, so that's what.
What was his last name?
He said Dijakovic, but it looks like that, but it isn't.
Yeah, it's like
Is it Polish?
Bitch or something like that.
Yeah. All right, so here we go.
Maybe Jeljosevic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on.
Possibly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 14, Goldberg, WWE Universal Champion. Number 13, Braun Strowman, the WWE Universal Champion. Number 12, Brock Lesnar, WWE Champion. Number 11, The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, WWE Universal Champion. Number 10, Randy Orton, WWE Champion. Number 9, Kazuchika Okada, IWGP Heavyweight Champion. Number 8, Nick Aldis.
Nice try, D.
Well, I know. I thought I got away with it too. He was quiet.
Man,
Nick Aldis, NWA World Heavyweight Champion. Number 7, Chris Jericho, AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Number 6, Evil, IWGP Heavyweight Champion. Number 5, Kenny Omega, AEW World Heavyweight Champion and AAA Mega Champion. Number 4, Roman Reigns, WWE Universal Champion. Number 3, Jon Moxley, AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Number 2, Tatsuya Naito, IWGP Heavyweight Champion.
Nice recovery.
Yeah, all right. And number 1, Drew McIntyre, WWE Champion. Boom to Matt Michaels. I'm ready to just about agree with this fully, but let me hear what you guys got to say.
Start with Matt Michaels. No, start with Matt Michaels.
You know what? I mean, we can start with Matt Michaels. It doesn't matter to me which start, but would you agree with this list? What changes would you make, if any? This is from worst to best for world champions with 3 companies in 2020. Boom. Who want to go?
Who wants to start?
All right, fuck it, I'll go. All right, so I do not agree with this list in full. I'm gonna put that out there. Okay. Personally, I know that we had discussed who we had as our wrestlers of the year on our last episode, right? And I had named Jon Moxley specifically. I think that he had the most complete body of work out of all of the champions. He had the title for 277 days and helped to, continue as the establishment of the AEW brand, bringing it out into the forefront of a lot of things. Personally, I would put him at 1. Naito, I would leave it 2. I would put Drew at 3 only because Roman Reigns only came back at SummerSlam. If he would have been around for 3 more months, he would have been number 1 without question.
Yeah, you don't even care that he had cancer, do you?
Fuck off. Fuck off, Mitchell.
Mitchell, damn.
Yeah, I went there.
Now he's stripping your ass down. He called you a little boy name. Mitchell.
Man, Street, you're totally missing.
He is,
right,
yeah.
Right. But we won't fire him, man. You're good, man. You're good.
You can't fire what you ain't hired.
Still waiting on those checks to show up.
I haven't even turned in my my 1099 form in yet.
But yeah, so honestly, Roman Reigns would be number 1 if he would have been around for longer than coming back at SummerSlam. Obviously it's unfortunate, his health issues that he had, and it really sucks to have to penalize him accordingly. But when we're looking at the body of work of all these guys.
Well, let me ask you this, Sin City. So you talk about Jon Moxley having the title for, what was it, 200?
Yeah, 277 days.
But a lot of those days are also counted within 2019, right? So you can, yes, he had it for a while, but if we're looking at 2020 as a whole, you still, from the point of January 1 of 2020 to when Moxley lost it, you still would put him in that role as in number one for best champion? Mm-hmm.
So Moxley won the title in February 2020, February 29th of 2020 at Revolution.
Oh, okay. I thought it went into 2019.
So he didn't hold the title at all in 2019.
My bad.
Jericho had the belt most of 19 then.
Yeah, Jericho had the belt from August 31st until February.
Gotcha. Okay.
Which honestly, let's just chalk that up to the fact that 2020 felt like the longest year ever. So it's easy to think that he won the title back in 2019 because he did win it before everything went sideways with the pandemic.
Right.
So it for all intents and purposes, it definitely felt like as if he had it in 2019.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely would. I definitely would put Moxley on top.
Gotcha. All right. Who want to go next? Simon Street and Matt Michaels. You agree with this list in full, or would you make some changes?
I'll go next.
All right.
I will say that the first three selections from the worst are almost spot on. There's only one thing that I would change, and that would be I would replace Bray Wyatt at 11, or the Fiend Bray Wyatt, for Randy Orton. And a lot of people are like, why would you do that? Well, I would say that
it's just 11 and 10, so it's only
it's still a switch. I mean, it's still a switch.
Sure. Okay, no problem.
But I would switch that one just because I feel that Randy Orton being a champion, I don't know, even to this day, and I really looked into it, why did he even have the fucking championship? What was the real purpose of it at all? Do you see what I'm saying? I think maybe he was the hot ticket, and maybe that's why he got the belt, but it didn't serve a purpose at all, in my opinion. But the Fiend, when he did get that belt, there was a good, decent storyline that went in it, but I think due to the timing of what COVID was and him trying to figure shit out, it's just, I felt like it just didn't pan out for him. But that's all I would say about those ones. I agree, spot on, with the worst of them all, 14, Goldberg. I'm not excited to see Goldberg at all. Again, he's one of those people that WWE and maybe a little bit of him, like, bruh, like you take away from the impact that you bring the more times you keep showing up in the same damn capacity. I'm sorry, man. I love you, bro, but you keep coming back just to be champion. Come back not to be champion. You just doing some other shit. You know what I mean? And then, of course, Braun Strowman. I felt like for me, he really was a letdown. You know what I mean? And again, I don't know. Again, just like kind of how I said with the Fiend, I just felt like it was COVID. Didn't really know what to do with it. With him, other than let's put him with the Fiend himself. You know what I mean? I felt like there could have been more that could have done. It's big disappointment. So yeah, those are the ones I will say I agree with. Some of the other ones, going further down on the list of the best. I do not agree with Drew McIntyre being number one. I don't. I appreciate him.
Okay, then who would be number one in Simon Street?
Oh, it would be very simple. It would be me. I'd be the number one champion.
Oh shit.
Nah, I'm just fucking with you. Now, if I had to say number one, I would say Moxley, 100%. I would say Moxley. He had more pressure. And he held it well, I feel.
Look, I'll say like I said last week, Moxley wasn't as active as Drew have been weekly on televised TV. And because of that, I have to give it to Drew. He's been holding it down as best as he can. And I think he's been doing an awesome job. I would definitely keep him at number one. But, that's just me.
Thank God you're not a USA Network executive there.
For real.
Yeah, keep the belt on him, man. I don't care. Ratings.
He comes out in the kilt. How could you not get him the number one spot?
Yeah, Michael,
I do love how you got extremely butthurt when Simon said that he would not have Drew at one.
Yeah,
you took it personally. Like you are the Michael Jordan meme, and I took it personally. That's you right now.
Whatever. Anyways.
I mean, look, man. If Drew excites you like that, then so be it, man. I mean, he comes out, it's the sword that excites you, right? When he pulls his sword out,
All right, so Matt Michaels, you
Impact
what's
loves his
your-
Claymore.
Why you blushing, bro? Why you blushing, Impact? Why you blushing?
what's your take, man? Do you agree with this list in full? Would you make some changes?
Well, some interesting stuff. He's Randy Orton's at number 10. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what I find funny is we're ranking them based on their championship, being a champion. Not only does he start this by calling Randy, Randall has been been a great heel in 2020, thanks to his attempts to murder Edge and his successful murder of Bray Wyatt. But his longest feud has been with WWE champion Drew McIntyre. Orton scored a surprise title win at Hell in a Cell, but lost it in 22 days back to McIntyre. He's got Orton at number 10, and the guy was champ for 22 days. So that says all you need to know about this list. Simon, based on your logic, I believe Randy's down there just based on 22 days. That's ridiculous. So he's at the bottom. But then I think you have Goldberg, and based on what you said, meaning a guy who comes in, has the championship belt. The only reason he's there, I think you said, is to have the championship. I would put Brock Lesnar tied with Goldberg.
Hey, I don't disagree. I don't disagree with you on that.
Yeah, if you're putting it in that terms, I think that's a good tie. There was Nick Aldis, of course. I think Nick's in a bad position because he didn't wrestle much this year. And also you're putting bigger companies in here, and then you're putting Aldis at number 8.
Yeah.
Which is, it doesn't feel right. Jericho, I think, is a little lower than he should be at 7.
Really?
I think, I'd bring Jericho up probably to 5 or 6.
I was going to say that Jericho should be lower on this list.
Down?
Yeah.
There's
Just
an
because
argument
if we're looking explicitly at the championship reign.
But he had it for 2019 then. That goes back to my logic.
So Jericho had the title until Moxley won the title from him in February.
Right. Sure.
So, I mean, Jericho only had the belt for the first 2 months of this year.
Yeah.
Right.
Like the first 2 months.
So I would actually, I'm a huge Jericho mark. I went on the last cruise. I'm going on the next one. I would put Jericho's title reigns at probably, I would say 11, maybe 12.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. I wouldn't say 12. I'd say maybe 10 or 11.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I would say about the middle. Yeah, because I mean, it's just the timing of it, honestly. Just the timing of it.
Well, I'll go one step further here. So then we're talking about timing, and this did kind of catch my eye. The end special Winter is Coming episode of AEW Dynamite was quite a surprise. Kenny Omega not only won the world title, but officially turned heel, encouraged fans to check out Impact Wrestling's weekly show. The idea of Omega collecting belts from every promotion is a promising one, but this AEW world title win happened too late in the year to really evaluate this run, and he only defended his AAA Mega Championship a couple of times. So you are literally saying exactly why he shouldn't be higher on this list, and you have him at number fucking 5. Shut the fuck up. Get the fuck out of here. In that logic, he should be down to like number 10 or 11.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And by the way,
I would actually agree with that. I would move I would move Omega down probably 9 or 10.
Now, after he's had it this year for months, totally different story. but for the small time, if you're doing that and then trying to make your point by that, so I think Mox for me is he should be 2. I think that Drew should probably be number 17 or 18.
And you just say it like
18 behind vacant.
yeah. The list only went to 14. Not only did Matt, you could have said 15 for your boy. You pushed his ass back all the way to 17, 18. Like you on reserve can't even go on the list, bitch.
They're just basing it then off of the work of his championship run since he's come back. Roman would get my top vote. I think in fairness to Mox, the one thing that brings Mox down a little bit is the fact that Mox was, I think, as my buddy Christopher told me, defended about 12 times during 9 months or 10 months. So that makes sense. I would put him down just because of that in terms of pure entertainment and pure, if he's on the show, he's going to be this year up in the top talk again if he holds the belt, because I think now he doesn't even need the belt. He's so fucking good, and set. So, but yeah, I would go Roman number 1. I just like the fact that all 4 of us have different views and different opinions, and that we know that 3 of us are definitely right and 1 of you is definitely wrong on this one.
I'm curious who that one would be.
Well, that would be it would be
he puts the mute on.
I never would have thought.
And that's what
in the asshole type of way, he would mute himself.
Well, in our chat, Shant put 1 at. Well, let me start at 5. He put 5 at Kenny Omega. Number 4, he put Naito. Number 3, Drew McIntyre. Number 2, Roman Reigns, and number 1, Moxley. So that's
I like
Shant's list there.
I like that.
Yeah.
So that's 4-1. Anyone else please want to chime in? Anyone during the week, if you want to just social media us your list 1 through 5, 1 through 10, whatever, just let us know, and we'll just keep counting how much that Drew McIntyre did not deserve number 1.
What?
Pretty sure that the only person that's going to end up agreeing with the Impact is going to be Drew himself.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, I get it, Impact.
I'm going to tag Drew McIntyre to this video and have him take a look at it and have some words for you 3. All right? How about that? Yeah, that's what I thought.
I really just honestly feel you want to hold his sword.
Oh, boy. Okay, so
is it true what they say that they don't wear underwear under the kilt?
I don't know. I know Impact will tell us one day.
That is our 3 count, gentlemen. Appreciate you all joining me in the conversation tonight. All right, final thoughts. So we could go get ready to watch 4 or 5 hours.
Oh yeah,
more wrestling.
Oh yeah.
About why would Impact say that? It's almost like he's about to fall asleep just saying it. Like I got to try and stay up at 12.
We all know Impact's gonna fall asleep in his rocking chair.
And I work too, but I gotta figure out, man. This is gonna be exciting.
Impact is gonna pass out before the prelim matches.
Simon Street
with the white slippers.
Oh boy. Simon Street, please give us your final thoughts for now.
All right, y'all. Like I always say, if you didn't do it in 2020, it's not too late in 2021. All right. Humanity over your personal gains. You see what I'm saying? Treat each other good. Try to be the best person you can be, no matter where you are. Thank you for supporting the show. And look forward to hanging out with y'all next week.
All right. Sin City Steve.
Thank you to everybody for hanging out with us in the chat. Thank you for listening to the show, watching the show, following us on social media. You guys are the reason why we do this. Special shout out to all of the brave men and women serving this country, both internationally and here at home. And special shout out to our boy, the Storm and Mormon, for making it home. We love you, brother. Welcome back. And last but not least, make sure you go to repsports.com, reppsports.com, for all of your energy drink, health and wellness, and weight loss, pre-workout, all that kind of fun shit. They've got it all. So repsports, reppsports.com. Use promo code Vegas at checkout. Save yourself 15%.
There you go. Matt Michaels.
You know, if you have Amazon Prime, go check out Relentless. It's the new film DDP did on the journey from the end of his wrestling career through the success of DDPY. It is 67 minutes. It's a brilliantly done product. Show you how much a guy like DDP means to people. You do a film like this, which is this very, small budgeted, it's nothing big. It's being released on Amazon Prime, right? And they were still able to get footage from the WWE, which is amazing because Vince is very, very cautious and very tight when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah.
So you get, if you don't know DDP as a wrestler and you only know the product of a yoga instructor, right? It gives you a little taste of who he was as a wrestler, and vice versa. If you knew him as a wrestler and didn't know what the hell this DDPY thing is, it gives you that aspect of the story as well. So anyone who, has never heard of him or has heard a little bit about him can, really see more to the story and why. It fascinates me, man. He had a really, really cool, beautiful condo in the Marina del Rey area. And in the film, you actually see the point of his life where he had to literally sell his condo because to make ends work and to make the money meet, this is something he had to get rid of, and kind of, basically that less effort to try to keep DDPY going. And it's fabulous, but also fascinating to see when it really took off was when they were on Shark Tank. And, you think about that and you just have to really, really comprehend the fact that, holy shit, reality TV really fucking works in this country. It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
For a guy like that to be a famous wrestler and to go into a product and for that not to just have taken off from who he was, that it took him going onto Shark Tank to get the fucking thing going through the roof. And
Sure.
the guys who did it, that small team, they were around even, when DDPY was still yoga for regular guys. And that is another wonderful thing to see, is that these core people who took this thing from a mom and a pop thing to a national thing, they never expected to be millionaires, but that's what happened. And it's the word relentless is very, very true here, because it can take you years and years and years to make something to where your dream of it becomes reality. And shit, man, who can't use that motivation? I'm telling you, after you watch that, you just feel like, fuck, man, I can do this. I
Yeah.
can do something like this, man. And that's and try DDPY afterwards too. If you
Right.
haven't, it's fucking fabulous, man.
Relentless. Amazon Prime. If you got access to that, go check it out. Let us know what you think. We would love to hear it. And that would be it. Great show tonight, everyone.
Cobra Kai season 3. Watch it, people.
What?
Cobra Kai season 3. It just launched on Friday. It's fucking phenomenal. You all got to watch the Cobra Kai.
I'll have to.
Okay.
It's probably gonna be somebody that says that can't really hear well. So did he just tell us to watch Dakota Kai? Isn't she injured?
I'll watch Dakota Kai anytime I can.
I don't mind watching Dakota Kai at all. Very beautiful lady.
Right. All right, fellas. Until then, everyone, thank you for listening. We'll see you next week. Take care.